I don't know. Oh no, I can't. It's impossible. Oh, that's just not for me. If you ever use those kinds of phrases, you might be shooting yourself in the foot and really sabotaging your progress. And so this resistance that we have with these kinds of phrases, the best way I can summarize this visually is with this image right here. And so when you have that resistance of, oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh, I can't do it. You are literally at that point over here where the person is so close towards those diamonds, but they give up. There is an internal resistance that we all have towards change. So what I want to do in this video is break it down for you, why we have that resistance, how it has helped us, and how to really overcome this so that you can reach your next level and get those diamonds, or get the gold, or get the silver, or get the platinum, or get the cotton, whatever level you are trying to reach. I'm here to help you break through that resistance and get to that level. So if that's something you're interested in, give this video a quick thumbs up and let's dive right into it. And so the first thing you need to understand is this thing here. The mind, a lot of it is subconscious. And our subconscious has a couple of purposes. So for example, think about it this way. If you were aware of everything around you at the same time, then you would have information overload. And so our subconscious filters a lot of things. It generalizes a lot of things. It chunks down the information to just enough so that you can consciously grasp the concept. So for example, right now you're probably not aware of the feelings in your feet or the skin or like the clothes against your skin. You're probably not aware of that one thing in your room right behind the screen you're watching. You are focused on the video or the audio or whatever you're doing while you're listening to this, right? And so from all of the information, your brain chunks it down and only gives you the things that are relevant to you in the moment. Because if you were aware of everything at once, you are aware of subconsciously, if it was all brought to your consciousness, you would be literally driven insane within a few seconds. And so your mind, it only tries to keep you safe. It tries to preserve you. And basically the only thing your subconscious is worried about is your survival. So if you cannot basically eat it, don't have to be afraid of it and can't mate with it, your subconscious for the most part won't be interested. But there's another function that less people are aware of. And that function is that your mind tries to steer you away from any kind of pain. Any kind of pain. And the important thing to notice here as well is that it's not just physical pain. Sometimes just admitting that you are wrong, that you were not the person who you thought you were, that's mental pain. And our brain experiences it in the same way. So literally the mental pain of like, oh my God, I was wrong about this or about that. That's the same kind of level of pain as just getting punched in the face, right? And so your mind wants to protect you from that. And so those things of, I can't do this. It's not for me. Oh yeah, I mean, other people can do it, but I'm just little old me. That is your mind trying to preserve you by holding on to an old identity you have given to yourself. And so notice this. Realize that when you have those moments of, I don't know, it's kind of like in a video game. Your mind says, oh, I don't know, I cannot do this, it's not for me, it's impossible. And that's basically like the boss in a video game. And in order to get to that next level, that higher level, you need to beat the boss, right? But your mind is against that. It would rather have you in an uncomfortable position in life than to make the uncomfortable change. Because that means you have to let go of part of your identity. You have to let go of the person you used to be to get towards a better future. That's painful. Your mind hates it. Your mind hates it even more than it hates staying stuck in a position you don't generally like. And so that's the thing here. That resistance is what's holding so many people back. And here's the thing, when you tell that to yourself, when you tell that to other people, and so that's the thing to keep in mind here. When you hear people say those things, you can be assured that they never will. achieve those goals because it's like too uncomfortable for the mind. It's too painful to admit that, you know what, I am fucking this up. You know what, I should be doing better. You know what, I'm not living up to my potential. That is mentally painful. Your mind doesn't want to do that. So where one of the cases where this often comes up would be, for example, with coaching or therapy. Oh, why are you feeling insecure? Well, I don't know. That's the mind trying to protect you. It suppresses those feelings of why you really feel the way you do. It's been suppressed to your subconscious and it still runs your life, but you're just not aware of it. Your mind wants to keep that out of your awareness so that you don't worry about it, so that you aren't crippled by that feeling constantly, right? And so that's the thing. You experience the anxiety, you experience sadness, you experience other negative emotions because of that thing down here at your subconscious level. But if you want to get past that, right? If you want to be the boss, you need to bring that up to a conscious level. And so here's the thing. In order to do that, you need to not let yourself off the hook. Because here's the thing. You can say, I don't know, all you want. But when it comes to you 100% do know. You know, but it's just uncomfortable. It's painful to get to the bottom of those reasons. So when it comes to other things, for example, like learning, when it comes to your finances maybe, oh, I don't know how to afford that. I can't afford it, right? That is basically just flipping the switch in your mind that goes like, you know what? I can't. It's done. It's over. And so I don't need to think about this. I don't need to think about the uncomfortable situation. That's just the way it is. That's how you rationalize things. But that's not how you fix things in your life. And so the first thing I would give you is to start being aware of what is going on in here. One of the biggest unlocks I had in my life was when I started becoming more aware of the thoughts that were actually going on inside of my head. Because if you're aware of it, now you can change things. If you're not aware, it's just going to happen. It's an autopilot just running your entire life. And that autopilot, it's not serving you well in these times, right? Most people run on autopilot. If you can be the person to break free from that, if you can be the person to apply some conscious thinking, to understand why you're feeling certain ways, you will make progress faster than 95% of people. I can guarantee you that. And so for this, get those kinds of words out of your vocabulary. Become aware of when you're saying it and then turn it around. Instead of saying, I can't do this. How can I do this? One puts your mind to sleep. The other one puts your mind to work. And so this is a concept that I learned from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Back when I read it like maybe a decade ago. And this was one of the concepts that always stuck with me. When it comes to difficult things, most people they turn away and the problem is over there, right? What you want to do is, if the problem is over there, you run towards it. You dive into the problem and you start examining it layer by layer by layer by layer. And so, yes, be prepared for uncomfortable situations with yourself. Be prepared for mental pain as you go through this. You progress through pain and then processing it and turning it into something better. And so, for example, for me, I was bullied on a day-to-day basis. And on top of that, I have autism as well, and quite possibly ADD. Those are all things that worked against me back in my youth. But guess what? With the autism, for example, I learned to reframe this. And so, yes, I was always terrible at social situations. And I had to really learn social skills from the ground up, like from a sub-zero level. That's where I had to build up my skills in that area. But on the other hand, I knew that I have for like relatively insane levels of pattern recognition. And so that's a superpower that I have on the other hand. That's how you can take things that are a disadvantage and you can work around that. And so, for example, me being bullied, me being depressed, me being just not where I wanted to be mentally, in life, in every area of it. That forced me to grow into the person you see before you now. If I had just a cruising life, that would have never happened. I would have had this baseline instead of going from here and then slowly ramping it up to go to the top, right? And so your setbacks, the things that have happened to you, I don't know what it is for you. I don't know what is holding you back mentally, but I know it's something in your past that has happened that you have not processed. So really what I want you to think about is to really sit down with yourself, something that I've done myself as well, and really think about, why don't I feel confident? Why don't I feel secure? Why don't I feel like I am worthy of success? Why don't I feel like I deserve love, right? And I know these sounds like very negative questions, but here's the thing. Back in those days, and still like about a decade afterwards, those kinds of thoughts were still somewhere on a subconscious level. They were parts of me that still believe those things to be true, even while at a surface level, I had healed, I had gotten better, I was confident. But there were still these fragments of myself that were keeping me down. Those are the resistances, those are the bosses, so to speak, to get to that next level. And so those are the things to really take care of. And so what I would urge you to do is the following. Go and take a pen and a piece of paper. Go and take those, lock yourself in a room somewhere, make sure you're not disturbed. Don't take anything with you. So your phone, for example, it doesn't come with you. Your computer is not in the same room. You don't have any music on. So get rid of the distractions and really ask yourself these kinds of shadow questions. I'll create another video on that topic later on. But for now, just think about things of why don't I deserve success? Why am I not confident? Or turn it around. Why am I the greatest person in the world? And then there's gonna be that little voice inside of your head that says, no, you're not, because of these reasons. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the pen, you're gonna write it out. And so these are things to work at. And guess what? When you do this process, again, your mind's gonna be like, why don't I deserve success? Oh, I 100% deserve success, right? That's basically the same thing in this regard. It is your mind that does not want to confront the things that make you grow. It does not want you to reach that level, because that means that the old level wasn't sufficient enough, right? It means that the old identity was not correct, so to speak, right? It was not the person you were truly meant to be. And your mind hates letting go of those things. But so realize that when you ask these kinds of questions to yourself, you will, first of all, get ego answers. Why don't I deserve love? Oh, I'm the greatest. Of course I deserve love, right? That's the ego part of you speaking. And then as you peel that back, maybe it's like, well, I've never been good enough. I don't think my parents really love me. Like, I was never good enough in their eyes, even though you probably were, right? But as a child, we process things differently. So as a child, maybe you're playing the piano and you're good, but your parents want you to strive for a little bit higher. And they're telling you, oh, come on, you can do just a little bit more. You can do a bit better. To a child, that might be interpreted as, oh, I'm not good enough. And even 2 decades later, 3 decades later for some people, those beliefs still haunt them. They still believe that they're not good enough because of something that happened in their youth. And that's the thing. That's what I had to unravel as well. One of the experiences for me, for example, for like 20 years, 25 years of my life, I had so much trouble walking up to a girl. It's still not one of my best areas to this day. Want to know why? Because when I was in kindergarten, when I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, I had a crush on this girl. People found out about it and they were like, haha, Michael likes this girl, na 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 na. Right? Just the regular teasing that goes on when you're at that age. now as an adult, I can see this. It makes sense. To a child, it's like, okay, if I express interest in a girl, I will get mocked. I will get ridiculed. I will get laughed at. And I will be left out of the group. And so one of those primal instincts that we all have is survival. And for that, if you were not part of the group in ancient times, you would die. And so fitting in with other people, with the groups around you, that is a crucial element of this. So when I felt like if I express interest in a girl, I will get left out of the group, and my mind rationalizes, well, I'm gonna die. That's what was happening for like 25 years of my life. It is fucking ridiculous how deeply ingrained some of these issues are. It's all the way down at a subconscious level. And you really need to bring that to the surface. So know that I can't, I won't, it's impossible, oh, just not for me. Those things are ways for your mind to keep what you have suppressed down there, to keep it at that level. What you really need to do is just ask those questions. And so the shift here is to go from I can't to how can I? From I don't know to how can I figure this out? From it's impossible to other people have done this. How can I do this? To go from oh, not for me to, how can I make this part of myself? Right? And so those kinds of shifts is to put your mind to work. And again, it's not easy. It never will be. Reaching your potential is hard. That's why most people go through life never truly loving the life they live. Never. Because they don't take these difficult things. They don't do the inner work on themselves. They don't do the outer work because it's hard. Think about it like this ball of yarn, basically. You have got to unravel all of these threads together to make sense of what is going on in here. And with that clarity, with that intention, now you can move forward. Now you can be like, okay, I need to work on this, and this in order. If you have that ball where all of the threads are just spiraling through your mind, you will never get the clarity needed to have the focus that you need to reach your goals. So it all starts with understanding your mind, putting it to work instead of just dismissing those thoughts of, oh, I don't know, I can't, I won't, it's impossible, right? And so that's the way to move forward. If you cannot get yourself to really start thinking about your thoughts, start evaluating it, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to really make progress. And so that's one of the reasons why I have this channel. I have been through depression. I have been through anxiety. I have been through the hard shit. And so I don't want other people to go through this. For me, it took me well over a decade to figure all of these things out. And I'm still not even close to my potential. And so what I want to do is shortcut that learning curve for you. And for that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a quick thumbs up because you've been watching this for like, 14 minutes. So for that time, just all I'm asking, hit that like button so that more people can see this video. Subscribe to the channel because I'll be bringing you more content that will help you reach your next level. And I'll see you in the next video.